This particular plot right behind me has been planted to a double pro hybrid for the last 4 seasons running. And if we go out and look at the kind of damage that we have out here, we can see it's really significant. And if I dig one of the plants out of there, this is what I get. This is just the bottom part of the plant. But if we look at the root system underneath this, we'll see there's practically no roots left. The corn rootworms have done severe damage to this particular hybrid out here. They've eaten off almost all of the first 3 crown roots and even fed on the 4th set of crown roots that are trying to go here. And we don't have a very good ear out here. We also have this significant bending of this plant called goosenecking that we can see that results because we don't have a root system to support the top growth on this particular plant. Now, if we contrast that plant with a Smart Stacks hybrid, where we made a choice to use comparable genetics, but with a Smart Stacks trait, where we have 2 traits for rootworm technology out there, rootworm control, look at the kind of damage that we get here. Very little damage on this root system, a much more robust root system with long feeder roots from our crown roots. We have 4 full sets of crown roots on this plant, and look at the ear development that we get on this particular plant. Just by making an investment in a trait to be able to look at rootworm protection in our plants. So let's back up here a little bit and take a look at what we did in the full selection of what's out in this research and technology plot. We started about a month ago and we came out and dug some plants out here. Here's our double pro again. Very little root system. This is just the seminal root system. Almost all the other roots were entirely fed off on this one. And here's the kind of ear that we have at this time of the year from this particular hybrid behind us. Now let's take a comparable genetic trait package and put it into a Smart Stack system where we have 2 traits for rootworm protection. Look at the difference in this root system. We have a full set of 4 sets of crown roots on here. We've got some long feeder roots. We have a very good ear development out here. Now there is a little bit of feeding out here in this particular one. Don't get me wrong, the rootworms will sample a Smart Stacks hybrid out here, but as soon as they feed on that root, they either die from the trait or they stop feeding on that plant and we get a very good root system development. Now there are some newer traits out here as well. If you choose to take a look at a Smart Stacks Pro hybrid, you now have 3 traits for underground for rootworm control, including the newest RNAi technology. Now this particular hybrid that we have in the plot here right next to that Smart Stacks is a different genetic package, so it's got a little different plant structure and a little different root structure, so we have to take that into account. But look at the ear development that we have out here, and if we back up to the crowns, there's very little feeding, if any feeding, underneath this particular Smart Stacks Pro hybrid. So your first selection, go out this fall and take a look at your fields right now. See the amount of rootworm damage that you have in your plot. Then when you go in to visit about seed selection with your local Integra agronomist, decide if I want to continue with the double pro and maybe do some additional management that we'll talk on in a moment, or do I invest in a Smart Stacks with 2 traits for rootworm management, a Smart Stacks Pro with 3 traits for rootworm management, or do I look at a VT4 Pro that has the newest RNAi technology for rootworms, kind of like the Smart Stacks Pro, but just that RNAi technology for rootworm management as well. Out there as the newest trait that's in that particular package. We don't have that one in this particular plot, but we do have it out here at our location, and it looks very good as well for rootworm management. So that's your first decision, is do we look at a trait and invest in a trait for rootworm management? Now, if we want to stick with a double pro, we can get away with that as long as we have lower pressure on rootworms out in our fields. Maybe we look at adding an insecticide to a double pro. So we took this double pro hybrid and then went down in the plots here on the next set of treatments over and looked at adding an insecticide. Do we add a basic insecticide like a bifenthrin product? Bifenthrin products, liquid fertilizer ready bifenthrins, things like Capture LFR, and the generic versions of that have been around for a long time. And they do provide some good level of protection, at least early on in the season, to be able to get those corn plants out of the ground. This is certainly a lot better root system than this one, where we had just the double pro hybrid out here, the double pro plus the bifenthrin product. But they do kind of wear out before the end of the season. I had significant feeding on my later crown roots, but bifenthrin products, very easy to be able to use. We did look at a couple newer insecticides as well. This is Force Evo from Syngenta, and this one is Nerisma from BASF. Both of them on a double pro provided very good control of corn rootworms. Nearly as good as our traits, but not quite there as much as our traits, but very good protection out there. The issue with these two insecticides, these insecticides take an injection system to be able to use them with your liquid starter. You need to be able to invest in that piece of equipment to add the injection system to put these chemicals, these insecticides, directly in the line between the planter tank and the row units to be able to apply these insecticides. Whereas Capture LFR is very liquid fertilizer ready. You just simply dump it in with your starter fertilizer and go. So as you visit this fall with your agronomist, decide what your level of rootworm pressure is, and then decide, do I stick with a double pro and maybe add an insecticide, or do I need to look at a traded package, something like SmartStax, SmartStax Pro, or maybe VT4 Pro to provide advanced level protection against corn rootworms to get the yields that you want in your fields. So as we approach this fall season, let's be safe and have a safe and successful fall season.